Wesley, is this kind of like a fresh start for you with the new staff and new defense and such?
I think anytime you get a coaching change, it's always going to be a fresh start. Um, I think every coach is going to come in with the approach that these are players I've not coached before. Maybe some of them have, but new players, new system, new place, etc. You're probably going to have a pretty clean slate. Obviously, coaches are going to evaluate the players in the room, but just in terms of how you get along and how you approach your own players, I think everyone gets a clean slate when they get a new coach. As well as players, players don't have too high expectations on their new coach because they got to get to know them. So I think everyone has a pretty clean slate when they get in.
How do you think that's going, getting to know the new coach and the new scheme and everything?
I think with the new coaches and clean slate, it's for me, and I'm a little bit more inquisitive type, so it's always fun to just see how coaches coach and just draw comparisons to things I've learned in the past. And it's like, okay, this is what that means, and this is what that means. So I think it's been good learning new stuff so far with the new coaches. And kind of what old guys told me in the past. There's not much more you can do. But once you learn the concept for the most part, you shouldn't have a problem adapting to any new situation, and that goes from high school, college, and beyond.
What are you seeing from Austin since he got here? Obviously, a guy with a good amount of SEC experience too.
He actually had his 21st birthday the other day, so happy belated birthday, Austin Keys, if you end up hearing this. But I think he's played really well so far. I think he's been a pretty consistent guy. He's not been too haughty, so it's always good to have guys who come in not trying to do anything too crazy, but just do their job and earn trust of players around them.
What does he bring to that group?
I do think Austin Keys brings consistency to I think he brings consistency to the room, and I also think he. I think he brings a great approach to just kind of accepting coaching as it comes. I think he does a great job of just taking coaching as we get it, and that's been something we've been harping on in the room. Is just hearing the message, not the tone. And everyone knows coaching can get a little heated sometimes, but I think he's done a great job just taking coaching and just being consistent.
What are the different? What's the difference, or the main difference in scheme between last year and this year? Like, they're asking you guys to do things a lot differently.
I don't see much of a. I don't see a big difference in the change of scheme. But that could also be the way I look at the concepts. I feel like things are the same. There's obviously, I feel like we have same calls as last year, and we just call it something different. So I don't think the scheme's changed all that much. At least in my head, it hasn't changed all that much. I don't see it much differently. It's just the way we kind of speak it, and obviously there's a few things that are a little different, but just for me, concept-wise, I think things are the same. So it's not too hard to learn. It's not too challenging for me, just because I've kind of been through a couple ringers and had a couple schemes to go through.
Talk to us a little bit about how you guys are getting feedback this spring, right? You're near the end. Have you been getting feedback in real time about like where you stand, things they want you to improve on, and where you're at overall personally during the spring?
In the linebacker room, I'll only speak for the linebackers. We do get our grade sheets after practices, and so we kind of get in-time updates on how we performed at practice, and then obviously when we get to corrections, we talk about these certain plays at practice. It's always the big stuff at practice. Or like the big plays. You don't coach every single small thing, but you try to really hammer the big stuff that's important. That could really hurt you later down the line if you don't fix it.
So not many one-on-ones with your position coach talking about specific things?
Oh no, I'm apologies for the way I saw your question. We definitely have one-on-ones with our coach. I've had a couple meetings with Coach Aldridge at this point, so I think they've been beneficial each time, and they've gotten me closer to where I want to be with him.
How have you seen DeMario come along? Obviously, he's a guy that's a little bit younger, and Coach Aldridge was in here yesterday saying that it's taking a little bit more time with him just learning a new system and all that.
I've definitely seen DeMario grow. There's no question about that. And like you said, he's a young guy. He reminds me a lot of how I was when I got here. It reminds me now. It's just I remember I got in, and I remember Coach T-Will told me that he brought me in to replace KJ Britt, and I told him, I said, I can't replace him until I know what I'm doing. He said, we'll get you there. It just so happened it took me a while to keep chopping at that tree to get there. So at this point, I feel way more comfortable. I'm very grateful for all my previous coaches, especially grateful for T-Will for recruiting me and helping me bring me in and just loving up on me really hard, and especially since he played here. So he was definitely like a big brother in the sense that he really just wants the best, and he never gave up on me. But just knowing that I struggled, it helps. It gives me more confidence that, like, you know, even when he's a young guy struggling, he's gonna get it because I got through it, and you know, I'm here to help him, and I have been helping him. And I have seen his growth, and I'm excited to see how far he will grow. You know, it's kind of like bamboo almost. You know, you have to keep growing bamboo, and bamboo doesn't grow overnight. It doesn't grow. It takes a long time to cultivate bamboo, and then once it finally matures, it's very much matured. So you know, for him, just want to keep watering him, just like all of us have been in the past. We've all had to keep being watered and just being loved on, and just getting guidance on how we're going to get through it.
What do you feel is the biggest way that you've kind of helped him along these last couple of months that he's been here?
Trying to understand concept. I feel like once he understands, you know, it's been said before, once you understand concept, there's not too much more you can do to learn. I'm probably saying that in a funky way. There's not too much offense that's different, and there's not too much defense that's different. You know, so cover one's cover one, cover two's cover two, cover three's cover three. You know, and man defense is man defense. So just trying to teach him ways he can understand the concept has probably been my biggest push on him so far. And I know it's hard, especially, you know, education background. There's some things that are just more challenging than others, and concept is one of those things. So it took me. It took me 3 years to finally understand the general basis of all concepts, and just learning how to play them as a concept. So I don't look at positions anymore. I can just look at them as X's. So this guy has this job. This guy has this job. So now I can interchange any job, and I know what player needs I know which player needs to do what job, because I've understood the concept. So I've tried to push I think it's probably the biggest mental challenge, the biggest mental hill on him. So I think he's taking it well, but obviously, you know, he's struggling just like I did, but I know he'll get through it.
Have the linebackers had any opportunities to go up against the one offense, and particularly versus the running backs? And do you have any stories of you guys winning versus those guys?
We have a very fluid depth chart. So I've gone all over the place. I've been with the ones, I've been twos, been threes. Obviously, you know, maybe not 1, 2, 3, ABC, doesn't matter. But, you know, just mixing and matching a whole bunch of different guys, and we rotate practice quite frequently. So everyone's gotten reps at the ones, everyone's gotten reps at the twos, everyone's gotten reps at the threes. For the most part, for most of spring, defense has been pretty dominant for the most part. Obviously, offense has had some days. I think yesterday offense had one of their best days against us. So, you know, we got chewed out, but at the same time, it's also just a reminder that, you know, little things matter. You know, do little things right, you can get beat easily. So as a defense, I think yesterday's practice was great, just because it's just a reminder that we're going to have to keep doing little things right, like we've been doing all spring, and preventing big things from happening by doing little things right. But just running back wise, we've gotten them a couple times, they've gotten us a couple times, so I think it's pretty dead even, honestly, because there are days I can think that often the running backs just had great days, and I can think there's days the linebackers had great days. So there's not been too much you know, 60-40. It's really been 50-50, just matchup wise and just winning. And obviously, it always comes back down to the small stuff. You know, if I didn't take a good angle, you know, this play happened, right? It's this little thing, just taking a good angle.
Who's the hardest running back to tackle so far through this spring for you guys?
They're honestly all hard to tackle, and they all have their unique trait which makes them hard to tackle. Top of my head, Justin Jones. I think it's Justin Jones. he's a more compact, muscular guy. So and he can run. So it can get difficult to tackle him if he gets going on speed. And Sean Jackson, he's a bowling ball. So if you don't hit him low and you don't get him early, he can really start eating away those small yards at you. And he's already a large guy. So just him having mass and power makes him hard to tackle. I think Brian Battier, he's really slippery. He's a smaller guy. He's lower center of gravity, lower mass, so he can make cuts really easy. He's really smooth on his cuts, and I think he'll also be a problem for guys. And Demario, I think.
DeMario Alston?
Yes, I wasn't 100% confident, but Demario Alston, he's again a shorter guy, compact, strong, easy for him to get out of his cuts, and he runs really hard. And he's found a good couple hidden yardage during these practices just by running hard. And Jarquez Hunter, obviously, again, I say smaller, muscular, compact guy, really fast. Any of those guys, and honestly, I think all the running backs who've been able to get off the shelf or just get a lane, get a gash, have just been able to make big plays. So all the running backs are home run hitters if you give them an opportunity. But they all have their own uniqueness about what makes them difficult to tackle. So I think they're all pretty good. I think they're all good work to tackle.
How hard is Jarquez to tackle when he's riding on that horse?
If Jarquez is riding on the horse,
Gotta have some fun.
if he's riding on his horse, I hope you brought a Mustang. Because you're
still
going
take him down?
You're going to have to giddy up.
I want to ask about Robert Woodard. What have you seen from him coming in as a freshman to right now?
I've enjoyed watching Robert grow so far, and I'm pretty confident. Once all the older guys leave, if he stays, I think the defense will be in a good place. Just from the experience and just kind of sitting behind older guys like us, and just kind of being able to soak up things and learn concepts in a way that once it registers for him, he's got the concept for him. But I think he's grown. I think he's grown physically. I think he's matured as a man, and I think that's helped him on the football field. And he enjoys playing football, so it's always fun to watch him practice because he just enjoys playing football. He enjoys the physical aspect, and I'm excited for the future he has.
Wes, you mentioned the fluid depth chart. We were talking to Coach Aldridge yesterday, and he was saying how he wants to play 5 or 6 linebackers and rotate you guys a bunch. I guess how have you kind of seen that materialize so far this spring, and how excited are you guys as a group about maybe getting some more players involved and spreading the snaps around a little bit this year?
Yeah, so he is rotating guys all over the place. So different groups of guys are working against 1s, 2s, and 3s. So there's not too much. I say negative. There's no negative, honestly. There's not too much you're not seeing out there. You're seeing the whole spread of offense. You're getting the whole spread of defense. You're working with these guys. You're working with the older guys. Working with the younger guys. So it's always fun to work with the older guys and then work with the younger guys. It's like, hey, I got to tighten up that much more because I have guys on the field who need my help, and then older guys might not need as much help. So I've seen a lot of rotation. He tries to make sure that guys get the big picture concept, and when we have a situation, when we correct it, that he addresses the whole room about it, not just the one player. Obviously, you're going to address the whole room anyway in corrections, but he tries to make sure, when we go back out of practice, hey, everyone, I want to see this done correctly because we've covered it, and I know we can do it, so let's get it done.
Coach Freeze earlier in the week was saying that Mosiah, along the defensive line, was one of the guys that's really caught his eye since beginning the spring to this week. Just what have you seen with him playing in front of you along that line?
He plays hard. I think he plays the way D-line should always be played. Always attack, and it's really just attack react. I played D-line my first 5 years of playing Pee Wee. I was an edge rusher, so obviously I didn't learn it the way these calls because teaching it, but the same way it's like if you can get upfield and cause problems, you're a problem for them. And I find Messiah being on that end of the ball, being as in just an attacking aggressor, and he's really causing problems in the backfield for the offense for the most part. So I think he's a good D lineman for us. I think he's progressed well, and I think he's going to be a good fit here at Auburn.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate it.